The FARC Truck Series is, as you could probably guess from the name, a truck racing tour consisting of stops at short tracks across the Midwest, with a couple of dirt tracks thrown in as well. Most of the teams in the series are hobbyists operating on shoestring budgets, but you'll find more professional operations here and there, such as Focus Autosports, as well as current or former competitors in the FARC Low Dollar Series, such as Dale Underwood and Derek Dudding. Let's take a look at the highlights from the 8-race 2017 FARC Truck Series Tour. We start things off at the half-mile Toledo Speedway in Ohio. Alfred Jones and Michael McKinley on the front row. Jones pulls ahead at the moment in a truck owned by TM Master Cup driver John Dilks, but here comes Michael McKinley around the outside. McKinley is no stranger to short-track truck racing, as he runs double duty in the AST Voltson Super Trucks. Jones leads the first lap, but McKinley washes up into the wall in turn 2, allowing the 27 to pull ahead. But we've got a caution on lap 13 as Jafali Anamiha gets together with the lapped truck of Derek Dudding. Dudding then gets turned around again by Bobby Dwyer in the 72. Coming to 5 laps to go, Michael McKinley tries again, getting underneath Alfred Jones. There may have been a little contact between the two. McKinley pulls ahead, but the race would end under yellow as 3 wide doesn't work out between Kyler Spavidel, Tom Quinn, Damian Josel, Peter Yalick goes for a spin in the 18 as well, and Michael McKinley picks up the win over Alfred Jones, who led the most laps, but comes up short. However, he outscores McKinley due to winning the pole, which carries a 20-point bonus. Next up would be the Wisconsin International Raceway in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Alfred Jones wins the pole once again over Eddie Vero, Kevin Monroe's crew chief in the Low Dollar Series, racing for Focus Autosports over here. Jafali Anamiha once again runs into problems early on, squeezing Kyler Spavidel into the wall on lap 10, and then he gets hammered by Tom Quinn in the 45. Lots of damage to the front end of that black 45. Kyler Spavidel then gets turned around on the backstretch by Peter Yalick. Michael McKinley gets a piece of that. He qualified deeper in the field than he would like, and he paid the price. Last lap now, Alfred Jones has dominated. Can he close the deal this time? No, he hits the wall off of turn 2. Nicholas Radcliffe goes to the lead in the Binko truck. Coming around the final corner, there's a battle for third between Peter Yalick and Damian Josel. Radcliffe brushes the wall too, but it's not going to be enough for Jones to catch back up. Nicholas Radcliffe takes round 2. And once again, Alfred Jones outscores the winner by taking the pole and leading the most laps. So at least he has that to smile about as we now head to the quarter-mile Flat Rock Speedway in Michigan. Nicholas Radcliffe follows up his victory with the pole over Jafali Anamiha, who's probably hoping to use that starting position in order to avoid getting wrecked again. But you probably just saw Kyle Pitts getting turned around in the back. The caution comes out on the first lap. Alfred Jones up to second. Looks like he's still frustrated with how he lost the last race to Radcliffe, nearly turning him around. Going into turn 1, Radcliffe keeps the lead, but Jones is still laying on his back bumper and succeeds in dumping the 32. Not sure why he'd be miffed at the 32. Hitting the wall was your own fault, buddy. And in fact, you probably noticed he lost spots in that whole deal. Jackson Chandler is your new leader. Eddie Vero right behind him. But Vero's getting pushy as well, and once again the leader gets dumped off of turn 2. There's gotta be something in the water here that's making these guys go crazy. Vero leads now. Radcliffe is back up to second now, coming to the white flag, but he gets turned into the outside wall and the 32 is upside down. The chaotic race comes to an end with Nicholas Radcliffe sitting on his roof just past the start-finish line, and Eddie Vero takes the win, having to dodge the overturned 32. But in the chaos, Radcliffe was still credited with 8. Jackson Chandler and Kyle Pitts also climbed back up into the top 5 after their spins. And now it's time for some dirt racing at the Knoxville Raceway in Iowa. Michael McKinley grabs the pole over Eddie Vero. McKinley trying to recover after a poor couple of races for him. But here comes Alfred Jones up through the middle to second, but Jones spins up into the wall in turn 3. I believe this is Jones's first dirt race, so a bit of a learning curve is to be expected. The dirt would soon claim Eddie Vero as its next victim. A little bit of karmic retribution for wrecking Jackson Chandler. Jafali Anamiha makes his way up to third, but then he gets wiped out by Kyle Pitts. They both end up in the turn 4 wall. 6 laps to go now. Kyler Spavital ends up in the wall after trying to race his teammate Montgomery Carlo. And here comes Derek Dudding giving a shot to the 54, despite having all the time in the world to avoid that. Michael McKinley once again wins a race under yellow, his second of the year. McKinley scored a perfect 135 points after winning the pole and leading every single lap. Alfred Jones could have been fast, but never recovered after his wreck. And now looking at the standings, Jones and McKinley are tied for the lead. However, McKinley would win the tiebreaker over Jones with his 2 wins, while Jones is winless. We kick off the second half of the season at the famous Rockford Speedway in Illinois. Alfred Jones took his 3rd pole of the year, so now the tie is broken, but here comes Michael McKinley making it 3 wide for second on Eddie Vero and Damian Josel. That's going to allow Jones to pull away and lead the first lap. But we'd get a caution on lap 8 as Barry Woods in the 420, aka Diddles the Clown, gets turned by Tom Quinn and comes flying back up in front of him. Derek Dudding would cause a second yellow with a poorly executed slide job on Calvin Jacobson. The 68 does a couple of rolls down turn 2, but keeps going, much to the chagrin of the race leaders, who Dudding now interferes with. Michael McKinley has a clear shot at the lead as Dudding holds up the 27 of Alfred Jones. Eddie Vero takes advantage, sliding into second. Tommy Ashby takes a hard hit into the turn 4 wall and gets turned over by Jackson Chandler in the 22, but he's still a sitting duck, sitting in the middle of the track. Kyle Pitts hits him. Dale Underwood gets involved. But we're still not done. Derek Dudding decides to join the party, and Michael McKinley pulls away from the field in a 2-lap shootout to take his 2nd win in a row, 3rd of the year. But his points haul is matched by Alfred Jones, who took the pole and led the most laps. So these 2 different strategies of approaching races is making for one interesting championship battle. But at the Pico Fairgrounds in Ohio, it would be Michael McKinley taking the pole over Eddie Vero and Nicholas Radcliffe, but McKinley hits the wall off of turn 2. Radcliffe takes over the lead. McKinley now coming under attack from Vero. Derek Dudding has trouble on the backstretch and swerves right in front of Radcliffe, who turns him around and causes a caution. But Radcliffe would continue on unaffected and score a dominant 2nd win of the season. Damian Josel finishes 2nd. Peter Yalek grabs the hard charger bonus to finish 3rd. Alfred Jones and Michael McKinley not far apart as they round out the top 5. And now we hit the dirt once again at the Coyne State Fairgrounds, the longest track on the FARC Truck Series calendar. Michael McKinley once again taking the pole over Alfred Jones, but Jones hanging on around the outside, and he's going to use that momentum to take the lead on the first lap. McKinley's able to hold off Damian Josel for 2nd, but later in the race, Nicholas Radcliffe comes after him. He's looking to squeeze into the championship fight in this 2nd-to-last race. But with 3 laps to go, Jafaliana Mija gets into the back of Dale Underwood, causing a 3-car crash off of turn 2 involving Montgomery Carlo and Tommy Ashby as well. This ends the race under yellow, and Alfred Jones finally picks up his first win of the year. Nicholas Radcliffe only needed to gain 3 spots from the start to win the hard charger bonus, so this admittedly was not the most eventful race in the world, but with Michael McKinley's 4th place finish, he now trails Alfred Jones by 9 points. Heading into the final round, Nicholas Radcliffe trailing by 11. Everybody else is well out of the picture. And the top 3 in the championship take the top 3 starting spots at Salem. But it's Michael McKinley grabbing the crucial 20-point pole bonus. Nicholas Radcliffe looking to offset that however he can, powering through to the lead. Jafaliana Mija moves up to 3rd on the first lap, moving Alfred Jones back to 4th. But Jones is going to slide back into 3rd as Derek Dudding holds up the 39. But he's got a lot of work ahead. 3rd place is not going to be enough for him to win the championship. Meanwhile, Damian Josel is running out of patience with the lapped truck of Montgomery Carlo and turns him around off of turn 2. This would reset the field and get Jones back into the mix. The championship contenders still 1, 2, 3. Radcliffe leading. McKinley 2nd. Jones 3rd. Radcliffe has locked up the most laps led as we approach 7 laps to go, but he would still lose the championship to McKinley if they finish the way they are, but McKinley wants to go for that win, and he's going to use the lapped truck of Troy Peterson to grab the lead. Radcliffe watching helplessly as the 99 sails away, and he's now going to come under attack from Alfred Jones. The 7 still holding up the 32. He's got to be beyond frustrated at this point, but Jones says, "Thank you very much, I'll be sliding into second now." But Jones is going to run out of time. The 99 is just too far ahead. Michael McKinley rounds the final corner, taking the win and the FARC Truck Series Championship. Michael McKinley was not to be stopped this season, as he took his 4th win, bringing his total up to half of the races on the calendar. Alfred Jones finishes second, but he is outscored by Nicholas Radcliffe by 5 points. And now having a look at the final standings, Jones remains second, Radcliffe third. Their consistency and qualifying speed was just no match for McKinley's dominance by the end. And that concludes the 2017 FARC Truck Series season. What will 2018 have in store? When the time comes, you can catch it all right here on the FARC Racing Network.